So let's go through a bunch of compressors and compressor model types. So I'll grab a few of my favorites here. Binary instruments. By that one company that I don't know. By Cytomic. Where the 1176. By TRex and IK Multimedia. And by Softube. Mute all of these. Oh, that doesn't work. So I will describe each one, and these are only a small variety of the types of compressors that there are. The first one here is called an optical tube compressor. And that is because in real life the circuit, the kind of like the gain reduction circuit, is based on a fiber optic line or something like that that activates the detector switch, which is, you know, optical. So that was a shit explanation, but the result is a smooth sound that's pretty transparent, even on drums. So let's listen to it now. There's only two controls, two main controls, the gain and the gain reduction. And let's listen. Let's activate it first. Just boosting the gain a little. Should probably loop this, Control L. Just that section. There we go. And kick it in. You can hear it as a very transparent sound because it's just the way it works. It had some snap to it though. I love it. It's one of my favorite emulations here, even though I haven't tried UAD, but who gives a shit? I really smash it. And use the detector high pass to remove the low end from the sidechain circuit. We can get a very solid drum sound with some clipping. Alright, next up we have an 1176 Yori model emulation by TRex, and I like this one because the UI is gigantic and it scales well on my ginormous display. And it has a bypass switch on it, which is always nice. Start with a ratio of 4:1, and this is an FET compressor. I don't know what it means, but the threshold is fixed, which is the amount, as I've said before, that the audio signal has to go over before it is affected by the compression. So it's fixed at, I think, negative 18 dB on these emulations, which I think is accurate to the real one. So let's give it a listen. After I describe the controls: output, input, obvious, ratios, the amount of compression basically, and attack and release. Let's do it. And FET compressors are known for, 1176s are known for their snap, so you will hear that. Drive it. Give it more attack. Pretty knocky. And you'll get more snap as you go up, and on most plugins or most emulations of the 1176, there's this all buttons in modeled mode, which if you have the hardware unit, you press all the ratio buttons in, and then shit gets real. Snappy. Next up, we have two console emulations. This I'll go with the glue first because it's godlike. Turn on some oversampling because it's amazing. Fuck your 2X. And this is an SSL Solid State Logic Bus Comp, Master Bus Comp emulation by Cytomic. Godlike, love it. And we'll kick it in with the 4:1 ratio and turn up the threshold to our desire. And as I said, this is an SSL compressor, which I have quite a few of them. They're known for their punch and glue characteristics. That's why it's called the glue, because it glues shit together. Let's listen. can hear that snap. It is a soft knee compressor. I think 3 of these compressors are, which means that the knee isn't hard, so the compression will apply before the audio signal goes above the threshold. So the lower the ratio, the softer the knee. Let's smash it. As I said, some punch. Next up, it's I don't know if you've ever heard of him. It's from Overtone DSP. Hey, I remember the name. And this is the DYN 4000. It's like a console emulation series they do. And they have a reverb, another compressor version, the DIN 500. It's dynamics, because this thing has a gate, expander, and a compressor all in one. And this is like an SSL or something like that, I believe. But let's have a listen. Unfortunately, there's no manual makeup, just the DAW button, but you know, I might have to turn it up. Okay, let's get to it. And I should activate it. Snappy as fuck. Pardon me. Very snappy, and as I said, there's a gate expander, and I'll use the gate. Just like that. Next up, and I think finally for this one, is another optical tube compressor, and it's an emulation, another emulation of the CL1B by TubeTech, made by Softube. It's very smooth. I'm using it on drums today because I never use this thing. So let me turn up the settings here and let's have fun. It's optical, so it has the same effects as the VC2A, just with more control, or the LA2A, just with more control. Let's do it. And I should activate that. Just because it's a tube compressor doesn't mean it can't be snappy as fuck. Damn. That's pretty good. Let's see how hard we can drive it. You can hear it has this analog effects of sometimes the attack not even catching the transients, and it just slips through even at the highest setting. It's pretty nice. And I think that's all I have time to cover today. So there's a few single band plugins. I might do a few multi-band plugins at some point, but that was it. Hope you enjoyed.